All right, so this is W.L. Laney. I'm your host. I am the founder of Winthrop Capital Group, which is home to the Turn a Business program, which is the best way to get into business without the 80% failure rate that typical startups have. So joining me today is Gary, and we'll just say Gary R. Period, and Tristan Fuller. Gary is a client, and Tristan Fuller is, well, my Sunday school teacher talked about Tristan and told me that the golden rule is do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Well, since I've gotten older, I figured out there is a different golden rule that everybody seems to be following, and that is he who has the gold makes the rules. So, um, Tristan, you're going to tell us about your rules.
All right. I like
Okay.
it.
Okay. So here's the issue today that we want to discuss. Getting started in business without the 80% failure rate that is typical today is to find an existing business that's already up, running, and successful and make that acquisition. Okay, we look at it as a sure way to get involved in business and get money the first day after closing. When you buy an existing business, it has its own cash flow. And so as soon as you close the next day, anything that's coming into the checking account for that business is yours to pay the bills with and make extra money. Now, getting started, we want to talk with Tristan and his group. Tristan has access to lenders all across the country. So, Kristen, tell us just a little bit about what you can do for a new client.
Great. Thank you. Thank you. A little bit that I can do is to sum things up is I can help them get access to the capital they need to actually scale and grow that business and one, get access to own that business. So if they're looking for working capital, if they need a couple 100,000 to make that purchase, I'm here to make that happen.
Okay, so you can help a person out with what up to what's kind of the limit on the initial round, and how does that work?
Good question. It all depends on what they qualify for. If they have no business ownership or no business history at all yet, and they want to purchase their first business, then we can go up to 300,000. If they're already own a business and they want to utilize that business leverage to purchase a new business, we can go up to 5 million.
Up to how much?
5 million.
5 million. And the amount, if they don't have that experience, they're going to make the acquisition. Then what is that loan up to?
Say that one more time.
The initial, for the person who doesn't already own a business and they're going to go out and buy one.
Right.
What's the kind of a maximum there?
We can go up to about 300.
About 300,000. Okay.
Correct.
So, and then if we take somebody new, and I'm going to just pop Gary up here for a second. In Gary's position, he's got kind of a lousy FICO score. I think, what'd you say it was, 827 or something like that?
Yeah, that's correct.
So he's got a good FICO score. He does not own a business, so he would be looking at coming to you, Tristan, and picking up to the $300,000. Then is that what you're saying?
Correct. If he qualifies for it, yes. So even though you may have an 827 credit score, what do you qualify for? So our goal is to get them and to get clients the max that they can qualify for. Now, if they don't own a business, the ways that we can get them funded is one, the credit score is last. We look at the credit score last. It's really the credit report. So what do you have to support that you can actually take on capital that equals up to 300,000? Do you have a mortgage? Do you have previous term loan history? Do you have credit cards? How's your income? If you have the income that provides it, if you already have credit cards that you have relationships with that you have for over 3-4 years, with balances or limits over 15,000. If you have term loan history and a mortgage history that you have for over 5 years, then yes, you can qualify for up to 300,000.
Okay. And Gary, do you have a specific question you'd like to ask Tristan while we've got him here?
Not at the moment. I'm listening and learning right now.
Okay. All right. So now this is really a great strategy because you actually do have better chance of borrowing money to buy a business than you do to start a business. The bankers understand, and Tristan, I think you'll agree with me on that. That when you go to the bank and you say, "Okay, I want to borrow money to start the business," then yes, they're going to be very strongly looking at the assets that you have. You know, you mentioned earlier, do you own your home? Do you have equity in your home? Because the bank wants some kind of uh, assurance that you're going to pay the bill. You're going to pay that money back. And with if you've got the business, uh, Tristan, that gives you some payback ability. And once you have acquired that business, then the business has assets as well. How does that play from your perspective?
Exactly. I've seen now another thing that goes into factor is who they're buying business from. I have seen people do where they come into a contract agreement and they get placed on that business to purchase that business. But now because they're attached to that business, we can utilize that business revenue to found that fund that they need to actually make that business purchase.
Okay. All right. Okay. So now for Amber, can you share your screen with me again?
Yeah.
Because I want to show people where to go on our WinthropCapitalGroup.com website. If you go to the business funding page, there is a video there. Let me just open this up here. Okay, so this is a page on Winthrop Capital Group, and under the business funding, you'll find this um, video, and it explains the. Okay, we just switched over now where we're going. Anyway, that video explains what to do and how to do it, and then on the bottom of the page underneath that video, there is a link in red. Scroll down that for that, Amber, a little bit more. Okay, right there. This start your funding application. When you click on that, it'll take you directly to Tristan's company, and you fill out the information. And then from that point, then Tristan, tell me what happens after they click that link.
Perfect. After they complete it, if their credit score is above 700 and they notate that, that link is going to generate a tri-merge soft credit pool that they don't have to pay for. We pay for it. With that soft credit pool, they also have a chance to upload any supporting documents they want to add. So they have tax returns, personal bank statement, business bank statements. At the end of the application, they can upload it all there to that portal. It takes us about 24 hours for us to fully review and underwrite that process. So within 24 hours, around 24 hours, I'm going to reach out to you directly, myself, to go over the application, go over the process, and let you know how much we have to offer you.
Okay, and you're going to take 24 hours. I have to sit around and wait for the a whole 24 hours.
Sometimes we reach out before. Sometimes it is same day. I have more. If I'm available, I will reach out the same day. But typically about 24 hours is what we ask to just go over everything and gather an offer for you.
Okay, Tristan, I'm just harassing you because typically anything takes a whole lot longer than that. But what you can see on the screen now is you can see the application that will go to Tristan.
So this is really not a whole lot different than when you buy a house. Really, you just got to justify your income. You have to justify, the volume or the amount of money that you're looking to borrow.
Yes.
and support it.
And
Yes, and but another thing is we don't have to necessarily lend just based off income. So with our programs, we can get you up to 150,000 without proof of income.
Interesting. The one that you said before, get put on the business, and then you could utilize the business as your income. At what level would you have to be put on that business? Would that be you would have to kind of buy into that owner and get them to sign off on you being a part of it and allowing you to utilize those financials? Or
Right. That's a good question.
can I jump in here just a second, guys? The working with Tristan's company, he's going to be able to give you what did you just say, up to 300,000 potentially, just with your credit score, not necessarily a
It's 150 just based off.
150.
Yeah,
Okay.
150K.
So we go up to 150. With that 150, then Gary, you can use that as a down payment for the full purchase of the business.
interesting.
Okay. So getting the purchase of the business, the other 90%, then yes, you can use the business for their cash flow to qualify for that. Okay, let's go back to Tristan for just a second. Tristan, with let's say that Gary does his application, picks up 150 or whatever thousand from you for that, and then we go out and we find a business for him that is generating, just for the sake of conversation, I have a company here that is doing, let's see, they're doing well over 3 million a year in sales, and if you borrowed the 90% of the purchase price, you would have $460,000 after debt service. So if you've got somebody then with a good FICO score, they've got all the rest of their ducks are in a row. We find the business for him. He's got the money that you've already secured for him to make the down payment. Then can we come back to you and have you look at the total acquisition of this going business? They've got a strong track record. They've been growing every year. They've got a strong cash flow. Then is that something that your firm could take a look at to then loan him up to $1 million or $2 million?
Absolutely.
Okay.
That is something we can take a look at. Yes, absolutely. Now, it comes down to we got income, we got credit. Yes, absolutely.
Okay. All right. So, gentlemen, I think that's it. Let me get back here to Gary. Just say any other question right now, Gary?
No, this is really good information, and the learning that you can utilize your own credit to get the down payment and then utilize the income from that business to get the rest of it potentially. That's a really interesting aspect that I had no clue about.
Okay. All right. So that's what we're going to work on. Let me go back to Tristan here for just a second. Tristan, what I'm going to do with Gary is I'm going to him locate a qualified target acquisition. Then I have a computerized financial analysis program that we will run that business through. So we'll have 3 to 5 years worth of financial statements, tax returns. We'll do an analysis of that cash flow and that operation of that business. It's going to do two things for us. One, it's going to show us the strengths of the business. It's also going to show us any weaknesses. All right. So if there is a weakness in the business, that's going to be good for Gary because we've already analyzed where the weakness is. He knows exactly what to work on to improve that business even more than it is now. Okay. Then the second thing that we will provide is we will also provide a um, appraisal of that business. So then we come back to you as the potential lender for the acquisition price of the business. Then you'll see the financial analysis, and you'll have the appraisal of the business. Everything, everything that you can imagine that you need will be there. And so then at that point, what do you think it would take time wise to finalize a transaction for Gary?
Perfect, good question. Depends on the dollar amount. It can take anywhere from 48 hours, 72 hours, up to 4 weeks. It all depends on the dollar amount that we're funding.
Okay, so let's go back to Gary. Gary, will you be patient for me for 4 weeks if it takes that long?
To
Well,
get
I have to.
to get potentially
All right,
1.5 or
guys.
$2 million.
Thank you very much for your time. Gary, your job now is going to be to go to the Winthrop Capital website, go to the business funding page, and click on that video, watch Tristan's video, and then click on the red bar and fill out that information. And if you, as soon as you get that filled out, then Tristan will be back to you. We want you to be nice to Gary. He there's something you need to know about Gary. Gary has two very nice dogs, and they let me pet them. So this is going to be our Be Nice to Gary Day. And guys, thank you very much for joining with me. You've been listening to Winthrop Capital Group's VCast. My name is W.L. Laney, and we appreciate your time today. Everybody have a wonderful day.
Have a blessed
Thank
day.
you.
Thank you for having me.
Guys, have a great day.
Okay.
Yeah, and then they start shutting down and going.